good, everybody? I'm gonna do my best to try to keep this video short, sweet, not too short, but not like over an hour long. Been meaning to make more videos, especially after that last one where I talked about the whole Space Jam biz. Like, that was some pretty serious shit, and I came out talking about a lot of things. That I believe and suspect in my life and in the world. Many of you have seen that video and shared that video. Thank you very much. I believe I called it "Truth is Stranger Than Fiction." If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend watching that. And I know in that video I had mentioned that I was gonna um, follow through with making a lot of other videos about certain topics that are revolved around the subject matter of that one video, Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Um, I've just been going with the flows and adapting and shifting with the coming tides and energies since November. November is when I made that last video. But today's video is going to be about dreams and whatever else flows through here in this time I'm creating with you guys. Oh boy, where do I begin? First off, I have been a very active lucid dreamer for as long as I can remember. I have dreams that I can recall all the way back to the age of 5 years old. Reoccurring dreams, even that far back. For example, at that time, at that age of 4 or 5 years old, I was having a reoccurring dream where I am a detective solving a series of unusual murders. There was a serial killer on the loose. So every time I entered this dream world, I was at a new crime scene investigating the murder scene. There's a lot of unusual details to this dream that I won't get into because that's not what this video is about. But I wanted to say that real quick because um, I pose a question to myself when I remember about these types of dreams I've had as a child. What, in what way is it normal for a child between the ages of 4 and 5, I think six too, has dreams about a serial murderer, and has the ability to levitate in those dreams. I have the ability to levitate and fly. It's very strange, wouldn't you say, for a child to be dreaming of being a serial murder investigator and a detective. um, Anyways, the rabbit hole with me and dreams and the types of dreams I've had, they take days. They can take days of my life going through. So yeah, I've been a lucid dreamer for as long as I can remember. Um, reason why I'm bringing dreams up and using my dreams to sort of get this message out. I don't think it's my message. I think it's a message from my council of spirit guides, my higher self. For those of you that have known me for a while, y'all know that in 2016, I started going through a series of different health crises. And in that time, I was also dealing with even more intensified, unusual dream um, states. I was traveling through different time spaces and all of that. All this to also say that I'm coming to a point of realizing what one of my supernatural abilities and gifts is, which is being a dream walker. For those of you who don't know who Magenta Pixie is, I have been tuning into her material and I've read most of her books since 2016. So she does have a video talking about master dreamtime travelers, and I have come to realize that I am awakening to this side of myself, this ability that I have always had as a dream walker and a master in traveling these different realms and dimensions that can be accessed through the dream state. And I am also learning to navigate and access through this in a waking state as well, beginning a new, um, basically, I'd say graduating into a new stage of what I am capable of. So, 2016 till now, I have a grip full of different dreams. The main one I really want to get into detail and break down right now is the dream that I had in January 2019. I unfortunately deleted my old Facebook account where I could actually prove it to you in um, what I wrote out the morning I woke up from this dream. Uh, dozens of you have heard me tell you about this dream. Okay, even before COVID happened, a bunch of you have heard me talk about this dream and many other dreams. So COVID happened, started to begin to breach the surface January 2020, China, right? In 2019, January 2019, I had this dream where I was dropped into a timeline that was post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic, okay? Um, Due to and when I was being dropped into this timeline, it was like there was some sort of narrator that was catching me up on what's going on in the time-space reality that I was being dropped into. So as I was being briefed, this is how it was. It was a post apocalyptic world due to a controlled virus being leaked, and then the whole agenda got out of control, and what ended up happening in that process of everything getting out of control was that all government, banks, corporations, and other systems completely was got wiped and destroyed. Basically, kind of like a great reset. And also in the midst of this whole process, majority of the world lost their minds. And in this dream, we with my group, I was with a group. We called them the crazies. We called them the crazies because basically, most of the world lost their connection to their humanity. Have went completely insane, just like how you see in all those movies that are post-apocalyptic, and you really see a darker side within the unconscious of humanity when it gets to that point. That was going on. So where I was in this dream was in an unknown territory. It was in nature. I was living on a campground. There were different campsites and a big old barn. And I was with a small group of people. And as I was lucid in this dream, I knew that I was not on the West Coast or the East Coast, and that I was somewhere more inland on the continental USA. So, I'm surviving with these group of people, and we are fully self-sustaining within our little commune on this campground. Then in the dream, we were having a drum circle in the barn after dark around the fire. And I remember as we were all gathered and drumming and just communing together, I received this direct telepathic communication, this download. And I had written all of this down. I wrote all of this down on my old Facebook, 2019 January, exactly a year before COVID happened. You guys, I am not bullshitting you guys. So I get this download, and the message was that I needed to go on a solo mission, leaving my camp base, my group, to go search for a magical item. And the way my guides told me was that I will know what it is when I find it, but I had to go alone. So I got that message and I was like, loud and clear, Roger that, 10-4. And so I tell my group, hey, you guys, in the morning, I gotta go on this solo mission. Hold down the fort. I'll be back. So the next day, I'm leaving the camp, and when I walked to the end of our parameter, because we had built an entire um, fencing barrier around our campsite, and it wasn't until that time for me to leave where I realized what we made this fence out of. It was a very tall, I can't tell you how many feet, but maybe 20, 30 feet tall, thick, really thick, maybe 10 to 12 feet thick wall surrounding our entire camp, made out of tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of rusted old bicycles just smashed and piled together. And I remember as I approached this fence, this barrier, I go, huh, that actually makes sense. Like, imagine having to climb that and not injure yourself, climbing a bunch of bicycles that are all fucking, slip somewhere and get your ankle caught. It's good, you try taking that apart. Like, it was a pretty clever way to make a fence. And so there are, only a few ways to enter and exit that are only known by us. And I was exiting through this crawl space on the campsite, this crawl space moving through an opening within the fence. This is where it starts to get even weirder. As I am midway crawling through the fence of bicycles, there is a moment where I paused to look at myself, my body, because I had noticed that there were tons of black widow spiders crawling all over me. Just suddenly, just black widow spiders are crawling all over me. And instead of panicking and freaking out about these deadly spiders suddenly invading all over me, I close my eyes, I pause, and in the dream, so I close my eyes, I pause, and I take a deep breath to center myself and relax. And as I'm taking in this breath and allowing my entire body and my nerves to relax, on the exhale, boom, it was all of a sudden I was in this psychedelic trip where I kind of projected into this other realm where it was all fluid, it was very plasma. I recognized that I was then in my plasma body in this other energetic realm, and there was another consciousness there with me, and their plasma body was merging with mine. And as their plasma body was merging with mine, the energy vibration of their plasma body slowly started to take a very loose form that was geometric and very much like a spider, kind of like a spider web and a spider with a bunch of eyes. And our consciousness merged. So I merged consciousness with this other being, this other consciousness. And what this consciousness had told me was that it was the great grandmother spider spirit. It was a great grandmother energy that was a spider. And what she told me was what I was experiencing with her right then and there was the highest form of telepathy. And she had given me the message that it is very important for me to begin mastering my telepathic powers, specifically communicating telepathically with higher energies, higher vibrational energies, such as my spirit team, my higher self, celestial energies, so on and so forth. And the reason why she told me that it's very important for me to start tapping into and mastering this ability that we all have is because the message she gave me um, was that she said soon it will be the only way you can know what's true or not. It would be the only way you could know what's real or not is through your telepathic downloads with your higher self. Because she said that we're moving into a time where it is very difficult to navigate and trust information in the physical world. Um, and then what else did she say? Is that it? Yeah, so that was the message. And then we broke our connection. And when we broke our connection, I woke up. I was on the other side of the fence. I had made it through the fence somehow, and I was on the ground laying down. And I get up, no more spiders on me. And I get up and I say to myself, "That was fucking weird," and just shake it off real quick, and say, "Okay, I gotta go." So then I start running into the forest, and it didn't take long. Excuse me. It didn't take long for me to make it to this meadow, this opening, this grassy meadow in the forest to find the magical item. Very cliche. The magical item was a white glowy staff made out of a tree branch from some kind of a tree. Um, and it was stuck to the ground, and it was very glowy, and it was white, and it was shaped a certain way, and it was had a lot of energy to it. So I make it to this point and say, "Oh, that must be it." I know when I will find it, it's some sort of magical item. So I grab it, and I'm like, "Great, almost done with this mission. Time to make it back to my people." So I run back to my camp, and when I crawl through the space again, and when I make it to the other side, that's when I had seen that the crazies had invaded my camp, and that they were destroying our camp, and they were killing my people, my tribe, my comrades. I'd witnessed one of my comrades. I don't know any of these people. I had witnessed one of my comrades running out of the barn, being chased by one of the crazies. And this is how I wrote it in that Facebook post that I don't have anymore. But so many of you have heard me share this dream, even before COVID. So my comrades running out of the barn being chased, and they slip. And when they slip, they turn over to try to defend themselves from the person chasing them. And that person also had a magical staff, but theirs was black, and it had all this staticky, crazy, like black magic energy coming out of it. And so then they stabbed my comrade in the chest, and they started churning it like that, and this gaping portal started opening. So here is where it gets even weirder again. As I'm witnessing that right in front of me, that horrific sight right in front of me, I'm screaming, "No!" And as I'm screaming, "No," my hands, both of my hands are going to my head, and boop, boop, I remove a headset device. and then it was like, you know, when you turn off the old fashioned TVs and it's all staticky, and then it has a flash of light and then a line, and then the screen goes black. It was like that. Okay. Everything that I had just described to you all, everything, that whole thing was a simulation. A simulation, okay? I was actually on a spaceship that entire time with a headset device, sitting on some big old fancy chair on a spaceship somewhere. Okay, so I take the headset off, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then there are these beings. I didn't get to see the beings. I don't, unfortunately, ever really get to see the beings, but I know they're there. I feel their presence, and they are big. They are tall fucking beings. These, they're there. And I wish they were, I wish it was a little bit different. I don't want to say that they were rude, but I mean, I felt a little rude to me, how it was. But basically, they were like, congratulations, you did great. We wanted to see how you would respond to all of these different situations and energies. Basically, they were saying that I fucking rocked it. And they were like, now we're going to send you back. And I got sent back to my body, and I woke up, and I think when I woke up that morning, it was like around 6 o'clock. It was before seven, maybe even before 6 o'clock, and I was all like out of it, like I was drunk or something, or like I've been spinning in circles for 30 minutes. When I'm walking down my hallway, I'm like bouncing off the walls, like what the fuck? That was a crazy dream. And then that's when I go to my computer and type that, because I used to use Facebook as my dream journal, because I liked how Facebook would do that 1 year, 2 year later shit, and I'd be like, oh wow, that dream again. I forgot about that. So and some of the people that I've shared this dream, one of my fellow comrades, my brother Matthew Mornian, I told him this dream, and he has had clients that had had similar experiences where they were dropped into this whole simulation experience, and by the end of it they realized that they were connected to some sort of device, and that they were just being monitored and tested and all of that. So I'm not the only one that has dealt with this type of stuff. So I, forget about the dream, and then 1 year later, um, when information is starting to happen in Wuhan about this virus coming out, I get that 1 year later Facebook reminder about my dream. And so I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Okay. So I had just shared that whole dream with you guys. And one thing we can point out about that right now is that I had a dream about the virus before it came out. But not only that, I had a dream much later after the virus, before it came out, post apocalyptic, um, before the reset and everything. I'm not saying that all that stuff is going to happen. I'm not trying to prophesize anything. Just sharing all the details. So 2020 was a big year for me, for all of us, all the things that happened in 2020. But for me and my story and what I'm sharing with you all, it was the beginning of me really taking back my power and claiming my sovereignty from all the shit that had been going on with me. Because by this time, you guys, my aunt died. She had overdosed on heroin, um, February of 2020. I was very depressed and suicidal. I was like not in a good place. After getting hit by cars 3 different times, stroke, 2 brain tumors, yada yada yada. The old story that ain't me anymore. You know, when the lockdowns happened, and we were getting into the summer, or like the spring of, basically when the nose switched into Gemini, I told myself in 2020, this is not a drill. This is it. This is it. Like, it's time for me to um, embody who I believe I am, and do this thing. So I I made a lot of drastic decisions in my life, leaving my job, my home, pets, family, everything. Moved all, not going to get into all the things. So that was the beginning, 2020. Then 2021, okay, I went to the Dakotas. I went to South Dakota to go meet with a woman whom, um, I was who I believed was going to be my partner in this lifetime, my my apocalyptic survivor lover, you know. But it was a just another profound, beautiful, and very intense um, soul contract, karmic agreement. And if you're watching this video, much love and respect to you. No hard feelings on any of the stuff. I hope you're doing well, family's doing well, all of that. And I thank you. I thank you. And I'm very honored to have had that time and for someone such as you to have taken me through those sacred lands of the South Dakotas. If y'all don't know, South Dakota is very, 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 very sacred territory. Wow. So I'm with I'm with this individual, right? And we're in love at this time, right? We're in the energy. We're in our little portal bubble that we have agreed to experience and move through together. And part of in that agreement was she toured me through the sacred Black Hills of South Dakota. And this is where I'm realizing my connection. Well, I realized it before this, but this is where White Calf Buffalo Woman. I realized in 2019 that White Calf Buffalo Woman is one of my spirit guides. She's one of my guardians, one of my teachers. She is a divine feminine ascended master. So is Mary Magdalene, who is one of my spirit guides as well. Um, so she's taking me throughout the South Dakota Black Hills. And one of the places we go to is a campground. And it was a campground that she had went to summer camp every year as a little girl. And when we're on this camp, I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, this place feels very familiar. And it was when she took me to the barn on this camp where I'm like, wait a minute, that's the barn. And I'm looking around and I take it all in and I'm like, holy shit. I was here in a dream 2019. So, of course, I had to tell her the whole dream, which you guys are all caught up on now. And I tell her this entire dream and she smiles and she says, when we're done, you know, when I'm done taking you through the Black Hills on the way back to my house, um, I'm going to show you something. I need to take you to show you something. So we go through this intense journey together, very, very intense journey. Okay. Um, and by the end of it, right, the place where she told me to take, uh, where she told me that she was going to take me to, she's driving me there, and I'm looking out the window, just like processing. I'm like, wow, this is nuts. And she's like, look, we're here. And I turn, and I immediately started crying. Just this wave of energy just washed over me. Okay, and I get out of the van and I walk up to this monument that she says no one knows who made it, who put it there, or how long that it's been there, but it's been there for decades. And it is a circle, circle, half dome wall of hundreds of bicycles piled and stacked upon each other exactly as it was in my dream. So here I am, a year and a half after the dream I had. COVID happened, the control virus, the agenda. I found the land, the bicycles, the solo quest, the mission that I was on, all by myself. Um, you know, it was a lot, and at that time, where I stood there, just with my mind completely fucking blown, kneeling in absolute humility, humbleness, bowing before the these greater powers, this higher purpose that's beyond my capacity to fully perceive and understand right now. I was humbled, and on occasion, I my spirit team allows me to fully be present and hear the conversations that they're having, and they were all telling me, um, "You did it. You made it. You made it to this point to realize that your entire life up until now was just to get you ready for the rest of your life. All of it. Now you are activated. Now you are humbled, and now you are integrating and mastering what you are capable of. You know, live with integrity and maturity, and just all these different messages that they were giving me, right? Um, so the reason why I'm bringing up these dreams, or this particular dream, and I'm sharing this very personal, intimate story of mine with you all, is because um, I don't think the messages that I have received pertain just to me. With everything that's going on in the world right now, COVID, the vaccines, Joe Rogan, um, the war, Ukraine, Russia, Biden, crack pipes, just everything, everything going on. It is very, very deceptive, tricky, and complicated to navigate and know what's actually true and real. So, we are not alone in this war, in this fight. We have major support and organization that's happening in ways that I believe will unfold themselves, reveal themselves to us and to understand, so we can work with it as well. But there are always safety measures and protocols put in place. So I'm saying this because I think this is really the time where, as a planet, for those of us that can sit with these types of words and these types of messages with each other, to understand that now more than ever, we need to tap into our abilities to commune with our higher energies. You know, commune with our ancestors, with our higher self, the celestials, these highly advanced um, non-terrestrial beings that are benevolent and are on our side, um, because it is getting very, very tricky on what to believe, what to argue for, what to debate on, what to decipher what's true or not. Okay. For example, last year, one of the things that happened was, remember when Texas suddenly, just did that executive order or whatever you call it to make certain abortions illegal. Those who have got impregnated by rape or incest or whatever, they made that illegal and all that. Um, and then all this response around the whole country happened. Like, be very careful of everything that happens right now, even something like that, because then that gets a lot of us on our high horses and talking about this women's rights, blah blah blah, blah. And even right now, me saying this, maybe some of you ladies out there or whatever be like, you have no right to talk about that, blah blah blah, rape, I'm a rape survivor, all this shit. Like, I'm not, bashing on any of that, but we are at a time right now where we everything's very tricky and a lot more complicated. Even something simple as, some sort of certain abortion law being passed, and this goes across the board on everything, everything. So we don't know shit. We don't know anything right now. We don't know, you know we know what we think we know, and behind what we think we know is a lot of entitlement and arrogance. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Okay. So um, that's the message there. That's the thing that I feel, whatever this great grandmother energy had, you know, communicated with me, even though it happened in a simulation. I don't think the simulation was created. I think I was connected to some sort of machine that created a simulation out of my mind, out of like my energy. So I manifested and co-created that. I think there is a lot of real things from that simulation. Do you make sense? Does it make sense? It's kind of very like highly advanced technology kind of a thing that I don't have the words or articulation to put it. Um, what time is it? Okay, so um, excuse me. Um, because we are in a mini age of deception. Neptune is in Pisces, so it's very easy for us to get lost in hysteria and delusions and to be tricked right now. So pull your energy back from all these different things. Even myself, I get caught, I get slipped up too. Like, I'm not, I'm with you. Okay, we're walking through this together. But pull your energy back from these things. I don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? Some people say that never mind, never mind, never mind. But I want to share more about um, the many different dreams that I've had. Okay. Um, I will end this video with this. When Trump ran for presidency back in 2016, I didn't like the guy. I was one of those, fuck you, Trump, blah, blah, blah. And when Standing Rock was going on, like, that was a huge thing that we had seemed to have forgotten about, right? There was a lot to that that still matters. So I was anti-Trump, because he was threatening to deport my people. I have many family and friends that are undocumented. Okay, so I felt that they were under threat, and he was just this bigot, whatever, because that was what mainstream media was programming me to view and respond. Even though, like, I don't know shit about anything. I'm not paying attention to nothing in detail where it's actually happening. And it was because of him where I became a community organizer advocating for social and environmental justice. And I did great as a community organizer. I put my fucking heart and soul and body into learning and advocating for social and environmental justice. Yo, I traveled the whole country working for nonprofits, saying anti-Trump this, oh his policy that, the Trump administration that, or whatever, blah blah blah. But then I started having dreams where he would come to me. I had a dream where I was being talked to by George W. Bush, um, Obama, and another guy, and I want to say that that other guy was Biden. Um, and they're talking to me at some sort of carnival, and there's a big Ferris wheel behind them, and they're talking to me, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on? Why are they talking to me?" And then from behind, Trump calls me over. He's like, "Hey, come here," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he calls me over. I had this dream, I think, in 2017, so he was already in office. He calls me over, and uh, he tells me like that they're not good people. He's like, they're not good people, and I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, you're the one that's not good, right? He's like, no, no, no. Like, just pause for a second. Just pause for a second and observe and feel. And he has me look at all three of them that are just standing there. He's like, what are you feeling? What are you seeing? And basically, he's guiding me to tap in to my other senses to get a true picture and sense of the environment and them, you know? And I was like, oh my gosh, they're fucking evil. They're pure evil. He's like, yeah. Okay. Then another dream, which also this one was recorded on a Facebook post that is gone now. Um, but in this stream is pretty detailed, but I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Okay, at some point in this stream, there was an alien invasion. Okay, and UFO crafts were coming, and this was also 2017, and they were shooting down buildings and attacking civilians, and I was like, what the fuck? This isn't how first contact's supposed to be. What's going on? This is fucked up. This is horrible. And then I get a text message on my phone from President Trump. Okay. I get a text message and it says, this is a false flag invasion. Stand down, seek safety. Actually, it said seek safety first, and then it said stand down. And I was like, what? What the fuck is this? And meanwhile, I'm like confused, because I'm going to work and, you know, in all the meetings and stuff we're talking about, we're like, fuck the Trump administration, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like having these dreams and stuff. And I already knew about aliens and the secret space program and so many other things. So, you know, I eventually came to realize that I was no longer thinking independently. I was only regurgitating the narratives and information that were passed down to me from my colleagues and higher ups on how to view and understand the different political environmental issues in our country and in the world. Okay. So that's when I needed to take a step back and be like, wait a minute, I don't, and I had to reshape, reframe, and take my power back on all of that stuff. Okay. And part of that has to admit that I was wrong. I got duped. And so many people are afraid and don't have the ability to do that because we're so righteous in what we want to feel and how we want to express that. We get lost and we get played and trolled. Um, it's insane. I'm going to make a part two to talk about another dream about Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay. And how I investigate and perceive with my psychic abilities on some of the ways that these nefarious agencies battle with us in these dreamtime experiences. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in and watching this. Remember, I offer an intuitive astrological reading. So if you would like a natal chart reading or just any kind of energy reading, clearing, hit me up. Talk to me about your dreams, your experiences, your synchronicities, what's going on. If you're a little lost and confused or whatever, or just need to talk, let me know. I offer my services to you all. Much love. Peace.
Louis.
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? The Blu-ray Bodhisattva didn't know that I made it through the obstacles. They tried to kill me more than several times. Hit by 3 cars in 1 year. Tried to break my spine. They gave me a couple of concussions, but they couldn't stop me because my DNA is activated. Healing through my genes, through the genetics. I can open the portals and save my ancestors. Cause yeah, they counting on me. I'm the champion, the strongest of my lineage. That's right, I'm a king, motherfucking Bodhisattva. Came from the kingdom of Shambhala to come in here and tear it down. The false inverted matrix is so perverted after the kids and then the children.
All in the children. Fuck them.
Activated my wings. Now I'm about to sing. Didn't know I could sing. Damn. Look at those rings.
Hey, look at those rings.
Can't forget, it's not just about the love and light. There is death and darkness, an entire spectrum. Don't be eluded by your jadedness. Just because it's all shiny and glittery, don't mean there ain't nothing that you have to go through. Just look at that Hades. Hades be pissed off cause he have to deal with everyone suppressed, unconscious, and knowing who you truly are inside. Why you just playing around outside, shining bright, never doing any of that work? What you know about yourself when you have never.
Face yourself.
Face yourself.
Face yourself. Yeah, yeah. I got that yin to the yang. I do my fucking thing. I make sure the gun goes bang, bang, bang. Before I could always be shooting you, trying to say that you about to make me do another expose. Okay, no, I will not put it in my vein. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about your vaccine. I just do my thing and breathe because that gives me all the DMT energy outside in my peripheral vision. This my intuition. I'm a man on a mission, and yes, I will be slicing you as I make the incision in this fucking circle in the game. Fuck a rat race. I'm the fucking big cat with the cheese. JK, I'm barking. I tell you that it's looking like malarkey the way that I'm coming through and I'm sparking. And after dark, and you been thinking that I'm Batman. Like, where the fuck is she? Coming like I'm doing, like I've been in with the jet ski. All these bitches really wanna try to get next me, but now I've been only fucking focusing on my energy. Where you be? I'm just healing thee. Oh yes, I'm feeling myself. Are you feeling me? This is our infinite energy. You my enemy, JK, you my brother. I'm the one saying that we about to be one, cause another mother giving birth to another brother. I mean, are you looking at it that way, or is it just some bad shit? Oh, I'm looking at it like it's fucking fantastic.
Fucking fantastic.
Fucking fantastic. Looking at it in the best way, like it's fucking fantastic. Fucking fantastic.
That was dope.